All right, shalom, shalom. Here we are back with another video from the highways and hedges, man. All right, here to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great and to blow the trumpet upon the Lord's holy mountain. All right, and to do so by bringing forth the prophecy that's being fulfilled here in these last days, man. As we know that we are in very, very prophetic times. All right, there's so much shit going on that you can barely keep up with it, man. All right, so call Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for that. And another Thawadi Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, all right, for the body of Yahweh Shai, man, which is the brothers, man, the Akim. The Akim are locked in, going into prophecy. The brothers on fire, man, tearing it up. You know, I got about 30 videos on my watch later list that I got to go back and watch and do lessons on. So it's a lot of things to go into right now, man. All right. The Lord is visiting the earth in which he made. Okay. So like I said, you know, we are in very prophetic times. So we got to stay watchful, man. Okay. Because the true body of Yahweh Shai is going to do that. Okay, because they hold the true testimony of Yahweh Shai, which is the spirit of prophecy, which you can read about when you go to Revelation 19 and verse 10. All right. But the title of this lesson is going to be Prophecy Has the World in a Chokehold. All right. Everybody is under the submission of the will of the Heavenly Father, even the elect, man. Okay. And according to Romans 9 and 19, you know, it says who resisted his will. And the answer is nobody. Nobody can resist the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, everything you know that's going on right now is going according to plan. Even over there in the so-called Middle East. Okay, these different nations are ramping up. All right, the war drums are beating. All right, the moves that you see being made over there are all orchestrated by Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And this is contrary to popular belief, man. But this is what gives us a satisfaction that we know these things through the spirit. We know that the Lord is in control of all things. So while the rest of the world is bugging out of their fucking minds and, you know, looking for answers, okay, they look into the news channels for answers. They look into the damn different outlets, the different media, all right? But we know the answer, man. And that gives us comfort in the spirit because we know everything, like I said, is according to the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And what is the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai? Okay? The will of the Heavenly Father is that order is to be restored upon earth as it is in heaven. Okay? And in order for that order to be restored back in the earth, the wickedness that we see right now has to be uprooted. All right? We know that this place is defiled. All right, look at who's in rulership. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, man. So, of course, there's nothing but wickedness that's going to prevail here. Okay? But justice and righteousness is getting ready to prevail here very soon, man. Okay? As a matter of fact, let me start off with the book of 2nd Esdras. Because like I said, the shit that we see here right now, all the filth, the abominations being done in the earth, all of this has to be taken out of the way in order for the righteousness that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai wants to be ordered in, it can be ordered in, man. Okay? This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 4. I'm gonna start at verse 28. All right. It says, "But as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee, for the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come." All right, the destruction is not yet come because there's an order of operations. Okay, you probably learned about that when you was in school. If you ever paid attention in math, man, you know that there's an order of operations. You can't just go in and just do shit out of order. Okay, 1 Corinthians 14 and 40, man. All right, all things must be done in decency and in order, man. Okay, so what I'm speaking about here is the chronological sequence of the prophecies. Okay, we know that there's things that has to be fulfilled before the end comes. That's why it says in Matthew the 24th chapter that the end is not yet. But trust and believe that these are the beginning of sorrows, man. Okay, we still got the major prophecy of the mark of the beast, man, which is the RFID microchip. And you damn camps out there, man, you're not sounding the alarm when it comes to this prophecy. Okay, for this prophecy to weigh so heavily on salvation, this should be being screamed at the mountaintops, man. Okay, but it speaks about that uncertain sound. And if these false prophets are not given that certain sound, how can the congregation make themselves ready for the things to come? All right. As a matter of fact, let me drop this real quick. I'll come right back to that because that's very important, man. It's very important to go into prophecy, man, and to stand firm in prophecy. Okay, your ministry should have prophecy in the forefront, man. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 7. It says, "And even things without life-giving sound, with a pipe or harp, except they give a distinction in the sounds, how shall it be known what is piped or harp?" Okay, a distinction in sound is going into the Revelation 13 and 16 breakdown and giving that clear a picture, man, painting that picture for the congregation, showing them how these things line up with the things that we're seeing here, the CBDC, all right, the digital currency, the different articles and the different videos that keep popping up about the way that the economy is going, man. All roads are pointing to that digital currency, okay? These different terrorist attacks, they're blaming it on the Biden administration that they let people in and they don't know who they are. So they're pushing towards that notion of we need to know who everybody is in the country, man. So that's going into digital ID, man. So digital ID, digital currency, digital this, and digital that. That goes to show you that all roads are going to lead to Revelation 13 and 16, which is the RFID microchip, man. All right, so like I said, that's that distinction in sound that the true prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to be given. They're going to be sounding this alarm. They're going to be blowing that trumpet on the top of the Lord's holy mountain, man. So the rest of the flock can ready themselves for the things to come. And what's to come? The hour of temptation. You know, these perilous times that it talks about in the book of Peter, man. Okay, that's the battle that they're being made ready for. But the rest of the false prophets and the men that don't have a sure sound of prophecy, a sure word of prophecy, they can't give that distinct sound, man. Okay, they're playing certain tunes that are not in sync. Okay, this is verse 7. It says from the top, "And even things without life-giving sound, whether pipe or harp, except they give a distinction in the sound, how shall it be known what is piped or harp? For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself for the battle?" All right, and the answer is nobody, man. Nobody can be made ready for the battle, okay, if they're not given the correct instruction. Okay, if I'm a teacher, all right, and I have the curriculum that the students need to pass the test at the end of the year, all right, whether it be FCAT or SAT or whatever the fuck they take now, all right, and I only give the classroom half of that curriculum to study throughout the year, they're not going to be ready for the test. Because, yeah, I was telling them that they were Israelites, all right? Yeah, I was telling them that they need to keep the commandments, but I wasn't telling them about the mark of the beast. I wasn't telling them how to keep faith in Yahweh Shai. You see? You see how that's detrimental to one's salvation? You see how not having the 100% truth can be detrimental to one's salvation? Okay, so it's important to have that certain sound, man. All right, now let's go back to 2 Esdras, chapter 4, and verse 29. "And therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good." All right, so like I was saying, you know, this place has to be uprooted first in order for that righteousness to be ushered in. So order, true order, all right, the true world order, not the new world order, but the true world order could be established, man, where everything is going to be laid right, all right, because everything is crooked now. Everything is backwards. What is that, Isaiah 29 and 16? You're turning of things upside down. Everything is ass backwards in this kingdom, man. The women are wearing the pants. You know, the women are becoming more masculine. The men are becoming more feminine. You know, everything is backwards, man. You know, that's why we're anticipating these things. We're anticipating the downfall of Babylon the Great. You got some people who, you know, they kind of stumble at the fact that we're rooting for, you know, Iran and Russia and China to hit the button. We're begging them to hit the button, man. Blow this bitch up. We want out, man. If you're in the right spirit, if you're in the right mind, you want out. And you understand that the destruction that's going to come upon this place is going to liberate us, man. Lord, willing we be part of that number. Okay? The destruction of this place is the threshold between the old and the new. Pursuant to 2 Ezra 6 and 9, it says, what? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning that followeth. All right, so right in between that threshold is the destruction of this man's kingdom, man. It's only right. And this is the will of the Heavenly Father, all right, contrary to popular belief. Okay? So this is why we see prophecy that was written before time taking place here in this generation, because these are the things that the Lord declared from the beginning, as it says in Isaiah. And I'll grab that real quick. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 46, and I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High, and there is none else. I am the Most High, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning. So that's the beautiful thing about it. Like I said earlier, that goes back to what I was saying to reiterate the point. We know that the Heavenly Father is in charge of everything because this is his program. Everything that we see playing out now, this is how he written it, man. Okay? Everything has already happened in the spirit. It's just playing out here in our time. Okay? The destruction of Babylon the Great has happened. Okay? The salvation of the elect has happened. Okay? All of these things that we see taking place, man. Like I said, we're just, we're here with the scripts and we're playing out this movie, man. And all the one writes out, meaning Lord willing, we be the ones at the end, all right, where you see the closing credits, you see the names, all right, all those names that you see, those are the important people, okay? We don't want to be the people, when you see the damn, the credits rolling, you see the shit say, guy standing at the machine. Those are going to be the 2/3, man, okay? But even the 2/3 are going to be brought back to inherit the glory, okay? But we're trying to be part of the first fruits to inherit that glory, man. Okay, so we're going to do what's pleasing in the sight of Yahweh Shem Yahushai to the best of our ability, man, which is to remain faithful, to remain patient in these trying times, man, because these times that's coming upon us, they're very trying, man. Trust and believe. The little affliction that we're going through right now, that ain't shit compared to what's about to come, man. All right, all the things that we have been going through up to this time has been preparing us for the time to come. The Lord has been showing us and teaching us how to go without. He's been teaching us little by little, situation by situation, how to depend on him, how to have faith in him, okay? And we see that the Lord didn't fail us not yet, man. Even when you go to the book of Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter, all right, it says, consider the generations of old, man. Did any ever trust in me and was forsaken? No, man. All right, so throughout this tribulation, the Lord has been showing us how to trust in him, man, how to put our faith in him and not to put faith in man, right? Because when you put faith in man, you're going to fail every time, man. Look at this system. This is a perfect example of trusting in man, man. Okay, because those that are trusting in this devil and trusting in this system, they're getting ready to fall right along with this place, man. All right, the ruin of Babylon the Great is getting ready to be astronomical, man. All right, now let's get back on point. Okay, this is Isaiah 46 and 10. It says, I'm going to start at verse 9 again. Remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High, and there is none else. I am the Most High, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. All right, so it's a pleasure for the Lord, okay, to bring hell upon these nations, man, like you see what's going on right now, especially the damn tiny tops, man, over there in the land pretending to be us. It pleases the Lord to do what he's doing to these imposters, man, because look what they're doing to the land. Okay, I just did a lesson in the land of uprightness where he deal unjustly. These niggas got the biggest homo parade over there in Tel Aviv, man. It ain't nothing like that's supposed to be going down in the land once the true children are restored back to their former glory, man. That's how you know that these are not the true people. These are nothing more than imposters, man. Gutter rats. And they deserve everything that they get. All right? You speak out against them, they want to holler anti-Sim. You fucking right, we anti-Sim, man. And we pro-Shem. Because ain't no such thing as Sim. Okay? So we're aware of that with pride, man. People get to running, they get to hide, and they don't want that label to be placed upon them. Fuck that, man. because these devils are being exposed at an all-time high right now. Okay, and that's the will of the Heavenly Father as well, because he has to be exposed in these times, man, as it says in 2 Thessalonians. Matter of fact, call Lord, you have about Shimi, I was shy. Let me grab that, man. And this is part of that chronological order of prophecies that I was talking about. Okay, the so-called white man has to be exposed for who he is. That's going to cause him to come down with that great wrath that it speaks about in Revelation 12 and 12. Him coming down with the great wrath in Revelation 12 and 12, because he know he have a short time, that's going to cause him to usher in that mark of the beast. All right, now do you see how important it is to have the correct sequence of the prophecies in order? That's the certain sound, man. Call Lord Yahweh Shai for putting the spirit in our elders and apostles for teaching us, man. That's why the Lord said he will set up the apostles last. The same thing here in these last days, man. Because these were the men that were truly ordained, all right, to be spiritual fathers and spiritual leaders, man. All right, when you go into the word father, that goes into one that instills his spirit into you. Okay? Just like the elders and apostles, which are our spiritual fathers, did to us, man. They instilled their spirit into us the same way that Yahweh Shai instilled that spirit into them, man. All right, this is the order of operation right here, through the spirit. All right, Lord willing, we be part of that number. All right, that chain of command. Let me get this. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except they come a falling away first. And that already happened. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. All right, who do you think the man of sin is, man? Just look around. We know, pursuant to Job 9:24, that the earth was given into what? The hands of the fucking wicked, man. The Epstein files, that's a perfect example of who the fucking wicked is, man. You got politicians, you got governors, you got men that's supposed to be the standard of morality. The men who are supposed to be the standard of leadership, man. Doing all sorts of abomination on a private island, man, to children, man. To fucking children. Eating flesh, cannibalism, pedophilia, man. And yet this is only a portion of this devil's wickedness, man. Trust and believe, you know, the parts of the files that were redacted, they probably got the damn Trump in there, man. I know they got Trump in there. Fuck, probably. They got Trump in that shit, man. And other people whose names have been redacted out of there. Other men of high status. A lot of the plans of depopulation and the plans of the C-19 that happened in 2020. All of that shit was found in those files, man. And yet, that's still only a portion of this devil's wickedness. So you tell me who the son of sin is, man. The son of perdition. Esau Edom, the so-called white man. I don't gotta wait. All right, because a lot of you niggas, you will still damn blame the Israelites for all the wickedness that's going on in the world. You still riding our fucking coattail about using profanity. You still riding our coattail about who salvation is for, man. When you got this man planning world depopulation. You got this man steady fucking spraying chemtrails in the sky, man. I don't know if it'll focus. I'm breathing that shit in right now, man. And it's already bad enough that the fucking allergies, my allergies being bothered by all this damn pollen, man. Okay? I'm allergic to that shit. I'll be happy when we get in the kingdom, man. We ain't got to worry about allergies. We ain't got to worry about working. We ain't got to worry about the son of perdition, man. Okay? Let's go back here. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And that's what he's trying to achieve through his AI. Palantir, he's trying to be all-knowing, all-seeing, all-powerful, like Yahweh Shai Shai, man. And this is the pride in these devils' heart that have deceived them to the point to where they just live in a damn in fantasy land, man. They think they untouchable. We see Iran touching their ass, you know. They bit off more than they can chew with that one. They think they can move in the same spirit or the same power that they've been moving in when it came to overpowering these other countries, man. Venezuela and Cuba. See, they used to throwing their weight around, but now Iran got something for their ass, man. And trust and believe, hey, them Iranians, man, they already got it in the bag. That's why the U.S. is desperately trying to pull the NATO countries into this thing, man. And they're trying to back out. They said, nah, we ain't got nothing to do with that. That's on y'all. Y'all ain't finna get us into no BS with y'all. Okay, and that's the will of the Heavenly Father too, man, is that these different allies of America, Babylon the Great, okay, and these tiny tops, these allies are gonna cut ties with them, man. Okay, these different nations are gonna hate the whore. Because they're gonna realize that if we keep, doing business with the U.S. and we keep being drug along, we're gonna be drugged into a war that, we don't even know if they're gonna have our fucking back. These other nations are already saying that, the U.S. is using all of its defense for the small hats, man. Woo, woo. Man, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is working, man. Call on Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay? Hey, man. It's cranking up. It says here, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. And he's been revealed, man. Like I said, we are in the age of information. We also in the times where knowledge is being increased. So these different people, they're waking up to the fact, all right, that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is the damn devil, man. Starting with the chief house, man. Amalek, the tiny tops. Everybody is on to the ass. And they can't scream anti-Sem to the whole world. All right, the whole world is on that ass, man. The jig is up. This is verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And he who letteth is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, and he's letting the so-called white man accomplish all of his wickedness. All right, all the way till he gets to the top of that ceiling cap that the Lord has on him, because the Lord has bounds that this devil cannot pass, which is his new world order. Well, his missiles. All right, his missiles is his ceiling cap, and he can't go past that. That's why it says in the fullness of his sufficiency. The fullness of his sufficiency is that new world order, that world domination that he think he's going to accomplish. In the fullness of his sufficiency, the Lord is going to have him in straits. Okay? The Lord is going to rain on his parade. That's why it says that the people imagine a vain thing, because pursuant to Psalms 49 and 11, the inward thought is that their generations are going to last forever, man. Their houses are going to continue to dwell forever. Merely paraphrasing. This is verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Okay? And these devils are being consumed with the spirit of the Lord's mouth by the way of the prophets. Okay? Because they're speaking the declarations of the Lord. The declarations of the Lord come from the gospel that's being preached by his servants, the prophets, man. The true men that have been set up in these last days. As it says in Isaiah 62 and 6, I have set watchmen upon thy walls. These are the prophets that are in the last days, man. I have set watchmen upon thy walls that shall not hold their peace day nor night. That's why you have the Akim. Like I said, man, hey, it's so much going on that you could barely keep up. But that's what the body is for. Hey, the Akim have been tearing this shit up, man. Call Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai through the Spirit. All right? The true prophets are back, man. The prophets of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai are not going to hold their peace day nor night. You got brothers losing sleep, going into videos, doing lessons, putting scriptures together for a video, man. Brothers on fire, man. Okay? And that's a motivation in the spirit to keep pushing, man. To go harder for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai in these last days, man. We ain't got much more time. We don't want to be of them that been sitting around fiddling their thumbs, okay? Niggas got they damn talents folded up in a damn napkin, man. And I'm talking about the able-bodied Israelite men who are able to go out and teach, who are able to make videos, but instead they just sitting on their talents, man. Okay? So like I said, you know, these are the true men that have been set up in the last days, man. The men who are going to have that sure word of prophecy, which goes back to that certain sound that I opened up with. All right? The men who have that testimony of Yahweh Shai, which is the spirit of prophecy. Let's go here. This is Daniel chapter 12 and verse 9. And he said, go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the time of the end. Many shall be purified and made white and tried. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Right? And that's what's going on, man. The pure are being purified. The righteous are being purified and made white. Through their patience, through their faith. And their faith is being shown through their works. And we know ultimately it goes back to who's of the chosen, who's of the elect, okay? But the true men of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai are going to be putting on as the elect, man. Like I said, being faithful, being patient, being diligent, watching, doing the work, okay? Putting that hand to the plow, getting busy, man. And this is what separates the true prophets of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai from those that have set themselves up or came up some other kind of way, as it says in John the 10th chapter. Okay? They didn't come through the door of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right? So those men that did come through the door of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, what spirit are they going to be in the last days? They're going to be prophesying. They're going to be sticking to the script. They're going to uphold the simplicity in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. You got a lot of guys that are stumbling and having a hard time with the simplicity of Yahweh Shai. Keep it simple, man. You got Jakes talking about making music. You got Jakes talking about doing this, doing game shows, doing skits on Instagram. Just teach the gospel, man. That's it. Teach the gospel and wait for Yahweh Shai. Simple, right? You would think it's simple. But this is a stumbling block to a lot of these jakes in the truth, man. And like I said, this is what separates the true prophets of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai from these men who learned a couple precepts, okay, and they came up some other kind of way and decided to call themselves priests and deacons and captains. All of these titles, man. Okay, but they don't actually live up to the title. They don't live up to the expectation of what those men who hold those titles are supposed to be doing, man. All right? Let's go here. Because this is what the true prophet is going to be doing in the last days, man. They're going to be doing the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. 2 Ezra 15 and 1, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord. And best believe the Lord is not going to put 98% of truth in your mouth. He's not going to put 98% of the prophecies in your mouth, okay? And when it comes to Revelation 13 and 16, you're not going to know it. That's how you know this is talking about the true prophets of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai that he set up, man. The Lord said, I will give you pastors according to mine heart. Everybody doesn't share the same heart as Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. If they did, a lot of these guys wouldn't be in this thing for money. If they did, a lot of these guys wouldn't be in this thing for fame. All right? These niggas was nobodies in the world, but they come into the truth and get a little clout, and they get the big head, man. A lot of these guys wouldn't come into this thing, you know, for preeminence, man. Like I said, wanting to be the man. You wasn't the man in the world, but you come in here and you fast and you learn precepts and you study, also you can look like the man. That's not the true spirit of the true prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the true men, women, and children of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I'm gonna put it like that. That's not the spirit of the elect, more specifically. All right? But as it says here, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And these are all the things that, all right, the man before us prophesied about. As it says in Jeremiah 28:8, the prophets of old prophesied of destruction, pestilences. Okay? They prophesied of all the things that we're seeing now. And here we are in the last days, we have entered into their labors, man. Now, we can't enter into their labors and slack off. We got to enter into their labors and pick up where they left off at, man. Okay? Because the Lord have increased our knowledge here in these last days. We have understanding of what the arrows are, which are the missiles. We have understanding that Babylon is America, Babylon the Great. We have understanding of things that they didn't have the full understanding on, man. Okay? And we're blessed to be here. So we can't take advantage of that. We can't play around with this thing, man. We can't half-ass this thing, man. You know? You got to be all in, and you got to be all in or out. All right? As it says here, verse 5, again from the top, behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. And that's exactly why everything that we're seeing now and everything that we're getting ready to see that's about to happen on the U.S. soil, okay, is going to be justified, man. Because the iniquities of this place have reached into the heavens. The ordinances have been changed. Like I said, everything is backwards, man. Upside down. Everything that's supposed to be straight, it was made crooked. All because these wicked ass devils are in rulership, man. That's why it says because of unrighteous dealings. Okay? Riches gotten by deceit. The kingdom is getting ready to be translated from one people unto another. And that's also the will of the Heavenly Father, man. All right? Like I said, you know, they have changed the ordinances, man. All the way to the point to where it's lawful for a damn man to marry a man. Or lay down with a dog in certain states. A woman, when a woman and the man has a divorce, the woman takes half the man's shit. A woman could put a man on child support without proof that he's not taking care of the child. That's that Isaiah 32, man. A woman shall compass a man. All right? Let's go here. This is why this place is fading away. All right? This is why joy is being darkened. Let's go here. This is Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. And it's because of the fucked up rulership. The kings that have failed them. The kings that have failed to uphold the interests of the people, man. These presidents and these different men of authority, they're not in it for the benefit of the people. They in it for the benefit of their pockets, man. They in it for the power, the greed. Okay? The standard of the so-called white man is not morality. It's not integrity. It's not righteousness. The standard for the so-called white man is greed, man. His own belly. Deceit. It says that they don't strengthen themselves in the Most High. They strengthen themselves in wickedness, man. So it's the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua that these niggas be taken out of place. And this generation will witness it, man. The destruction of America and the second coming of Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly and willingly calls JC, man. All right, let's go here. Let's finish that up. This is Isaiah 24. What was that? In verse 5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance. Everything is out of order. But like I said, things are getting ready to be set back in order, man. The true world order, which is the earth being under the jurisdiction of the Israelites, man. Okay? That's the only way that things could be made right. Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous bear rule, the earth is going to rejoice. The other nations are going to see a major difference between when the righteous are in rulership and how things are being ran right now. They're going to say, man, y'all should have been in rulership. The food we got is 1,000 times better. The air. We ain't got no fluoride in our water. We ain't got no fucking taxes. All right? The other nations are going to serve the Israelites with joy, man, with joyfulness and gladness of heart. All right, because it's going to be better than being free here in this land. Ain't that something? Being in servitude under the Israelites is going to be 1,000 times better than being free here in Babylon the Great, man. Can you picture that? Can you fathom that? There's going to be more of a peace of mind being in servitude under the Israelites than you'll ever get here in Babylon the Great as a so-called a free citizen. That's how you know this place is fucked up. That's how you know this place has to go. It has to be uprooted, man. All right? Let's get back to the topic. Isaiah 24:5, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. So that's the prophecy right there, man. Destruction is coming. There's nothing anybody or anything can do to deter the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. Okay? And even, like I said, to reiterate the point that I made earlier, even the elect, okay, is under submission of the will of the Heavenly Father, man. The elect is walking in the lot that the Lord has set out for them, man. The ups and downs, the affliction that, you know, the elect is going through in the last days, that's them being tried in that fire, that furnace. All right, so if you catching hell, hey, look on the bright side, man. Those are the things that's going to be happening to the elect in the last days. They're going to be walking through that furnace of affliction, because it says that acceptable men are made in the furnace of affliction, man. Merely paraphrasing. And there's only two things that furnace is going to do to you. There's only two things that fire is going to do to you. It's either going to melt you or it's going to purify you, man. And if you come out purified, all right, and delectable to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, then you good. All right? Until then, we got to keep that patience. We got to keep that faith. We got to have patience, man. Can't rush the process. All right? So, like I said, the affliction that's coming at us, and it's going to come, brothers and sisters, now more than ever that we're closer and closer to the end. We're going to be tried more. The old man that you're used to killing on a daily basis, or whenever he comes, he's going to get stronger. Your flesh is going to get stronger. Okay? That's why we got to stay girded up, man. That's why we got to continue to pray. That's why we got to be continuously active in the ministry. All right? Talking to you, Akim. Even if you're not making videos, you know, watching videos, putting precepts together. Now, we know this thing ain't going to be 24 hours you know, 7 days a week. All right, but for the most time, man, we should be giving our free time to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? Now let's get back on topic. Let's read verse 6 again. Isaiah 24:6, therefore hath the curse devoured the earth. And that curse is going to be the judgment of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Ending off with the finale of those thermonuclear missiles, man. Okay? That's the righteous judgment of the Lord. That's how the Lord is going to restore the order within the earth. By destroying what we see now. Not just the land, but the democracy, the ideologies, the traditions, the rudiments. Okay? The so-called white man himself. All of these things which are bound within the foundation of Babylon the Great has to be uprooted, man. His tabernacles that he have built upon fraud and deceit, lies and murder, that's being torn down right now. His enchantments are becoming less effective as the nations sober up. Okay? That's being knocked down, man. And then that foundation has to be uprooted after that. Just like when they do construction. They got to knock the fucking building down first. And then the firm foundation that the temple was built upon, all right? Like I said, their temple was built upon fraud and deceit, murder, robbery, okay? That's being dismantled through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, specifically through the mouth of the prophets, man. By us preaching this gospel, that's what's bringing this man's kingdom down, man. Like I said, ultimately, we know it's through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. But as it says in 2 Thessalonians 2, that we just read, he's being consumed by the spirit of the Lord's mouth, man. And as it also says in Matthew the 24th chapter, in verse 14, this gospel shall be preached, and then the end shall come. So the end is being brought by the preaching of the gospel. For all you simple fucking niggas, oh, I don't deal with the camps. I'm an Israelite, but I don't deal with the camps are the reason that you know you're an Israelite. Okay? The camps are the reasons that this man's kingdom is being brought down. Like I said, don't get it twisted. Ultimately, we know it's through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, but let me get this real quick, because I don't want to quote it, and then somebody watching, they don't know what I'm talking about. This is Matthew 24 and verse 14. And this gospel, and we know it's talking about the gospel of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because Christianity has been around for hundreds of years, man, and the end has not come yet. Okay, but in the land of our captivity, where we have awakened to the true gospel of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, the spiritual awakening happened. The men got out there in the highways and hedges and started prophesying. Then we seen the end started to come, man. The end started to manifest. That's how we know wholeheartedly, 100%, that this is the true gospel of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. All right, Matthew 24 and 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And it's saying all nations because, of course, we've been scattered into all nations. Not because Gentiles can receive salvation, okay? For those who follow Genesis, follow that way of thinking, okay? It says, and then shall the end come. All right, so we're seeing the end manifest, and it's being brought, like I said, by the preaching of the gospel. So it's important for the men that are able to make lessons, the men that are able to go out into the highways and byways and prophesy. It's important for that for you to do so, man, because by doing so, you're bringing in the kingdom, man. This is how the kingdom of heaven is being ushered in. All right, not just this kingdom being destroyed, but this is how the kingdom of heaven is being ushered in, man. Don't you want to have a part to play in that? Okay, and we understand that everybody's not going to be a prophet, but there's still things you can do for the ministry. And if you're not a prophet, admittedly, okay, don't be on the comment boards critiquing the brothers on how they should be breaking things down and how they should speak. Just keep your peace and continue to watch, man. That's how you do your part. Okay? Let the men that are risking their lives and their freedom, let them do what they do, as long as they're not going off, man. All right? Let's go here. This is Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 13. All right, because like I said, the Lord is getting ready to restore that order, man, slowly but surely. We are already seeing it starting with the elect men. All right, the hopeful elect men. All right? This is Isaiah 42 and 13. The Lord Yahweh Shai shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. I have long time holding my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. I will make waste mountains and hills and dry up all their herbs. And I will make the rivers islands. And I will dry up the pools. And I will bring the blind by a way that they know not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them and crooked things straight. So this is the Lord getting that order back, all right, back in place. Like I read earlier, you know, they have changed the ordinances of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man, which is the righteousness that should be rooted in the land. But what has been sown in the land? Wickedness, man. That's why everybody is under a wicked vibration. Okay? The average citizen is a damn willful sinner, man. When it comes to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they don't know the Most High. In fact, every generation that's born, okay, each generation is getting further and further and further away from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. That's why everything that the Lord is getting ready to do is justified, man. Even with his own people. As it says in Zechariah 13 and 8, 2/3 of his own people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, are going to be cut off, man, and destroyed. Okay, Hosea 4 and 6 says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Not only because they don't know, but because they don't consider. They don't want to know. This word has been going out for years, man. The elders and apostles been in this thing for 40 plus years, man. And we can tell the way that prophecy has been fulfilled and how fast things are moving. Pretty much the whole world has heard about the Israelites by now, man. John 15 and 22, there's no cloak for your sin anymore. You can't say I didn't know or I never heard because your favorite rapper have talked about the Israelites, whether it be in a good way or a bad way. Charleston White, Smack Water, simple niggas like that. They've spoken about the Israelites, whether it be good or bad. That was your cue to go and do your research, man. Because 9 times out of 10, you got a cousin that's an Israelite. You got an auntie, you got a sister, you got a friend, you got a homeboy that you used to know. You got somebody you used to go to school with, somebody on your Facebook page, somebody on the Instagram page, somebody on your TikTok, somebody on your Twitter that said something about the Israelites. And the Lord set it up like that strategically. All right, so you can't have the excuse that you didn't know, man. The Lord is cold, man. And you people gonna realize who you fucking with, man. The hard way. All right, the hard way. Now let's go here. Let's continue on in Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 16. And I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them and crooked things straight. These things will I do unto them and not forsake them. All right, so this is the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, that he sends his son back to get some straightening in his bitch, man. To get some straightening in this place. To straighten out the heathens, to straighten out the 2/3, and to level Babylon the Great, man, by the way of destruction. Only by this can the kingdom be ushered in, man. So it's only right. And this is the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Okay? And that's all I got, man. I'm going to close out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechakwadash, And double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace, love, and salutation to you, I can push in his word and believe in his word, as well as you few sincere aqua believe in his word. To you all that say shalom, wa abab abal.